Hello everyone, and welcome back to Talk Helen. I'm Helen, and I'm really excited about today's episode because we're talking about something that can instantly make your English sound more natural.
Thanks, Helen. Always great to be here. And I already like today's topic because I think this is where many learners struggle.
Exactly. And that's because many learners spend years studying English, but very little time studying how native speakers actually talk. Today, we're discussing English phrases native speakers use every day.
That's actually true. When I listen to native speakers, I notice they repeat certain expressions constantly.
Let's start with one of the most common phrases in English. And honestly, you'll hear this almost every day. How's it going?
Definitely. I hear that everywhere.
Because it's one of the most common greetings in English. And the responses are usually simple. Pretty good. Not bad. Doing well. Can't complain. That's real English. Now let's move to another phrase. One that native speakers use constantly. I'm good.
That phrase means a lot of different things.
Exactly. Imagine somebody offers you coffee. You can say, I'm good, meaning no thanks. Or somebody asks if you need help. You say, I'm good, meaning I'm okay. Or somebody asks how you're doing. You say, I'm good, meaning things are fine. One phrase, many situations. Now here's another phrase, one of my favorites. No worries.
I hear that all the time too.
Because it's incredibly useful. Imagine somebody apologizes. Sorry I'm late. You can respond, no worries. Or somebody says, sorry for bothering you. Again, no worries. Now let's imagine another situation. Your friend suggests an idea. Maybe they say, let's grab dinner after work. You reply, sounds good.
That's probably one of the most common phrases in English.
Now here's another one. Fair enough.
I love that phrase.
Me too. Imagine somebody explains why they made a decision. Maybe you wouldn't make the same decision, but you understand. You say, fair enough, meaning that makes sense. I understand your reasoning. Now here's a phrase you'll hear constantly. By the way.
That's a big one.
Huge. Because native speakers use it whenever they want to introduce something new. Imagine you're talking about work. Then suddenly you remember something. You say, by the way, did you hear about Sarah? Instant topic transition. Now let's talk about another phrase. Actually.
People use that all the time.
Imagine somebody says, you've never been to New York, right? You reply, actually I have. Or, actually, I was there last year. It's one of the most useful conversation words in English. Now here's another one. You know?
Native speakers say that constantly.
Sometimes people use it while thinking. Sometimes they use it to connect with the listener. For example, it was a really stressful week, you know? Native speakers use, all the time. Imagine you're explaining something. You say, it wasn't terrible. It could have been worse. Now let's look at another phrase. At the end of the day.
That's everywhere.
Imagine you're discussing a difficult decision. You say, at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. It means when everything is considered. Now let's imagine somebody tells you exciting news. What do you say? That's awesome.
Definitely one of the most common reactions.
Not. That is excellent news. People say, that's awesome. That's great. That's amazing. Those are the reactions you'll hear every day. Now, here's another phrase. Good point. Simple, useful, powerful. Imagine somebody says something insightful. You respond. Good point. Instantly natural. Instantly conversational. Now let's talk about another phrase native speakers love. Honestly.
People use that before opinions all the time.
Honestly, I don't think it's worth it. Honestly, I loved it. Honestly, I wasn't expecting that. It's a great way to introduce your thoughts. Now here's another phrase. To be honest. Very similar and equally common. Imagine somebody asks your opinion. You say, to be honest, I wasn't a fan. Now here's something interesting. Many native speakers use little phrases that don't add much information but make conversations feel natural. For example, yeah, right, exactly, totally. These responses appear constantly.
That's something learners often miss.
Exactly. They focus on vocabulary but not on interaction. And interaction is what makes conversations feel alive. Now, let's imagine another situation. Somebody tells you a story. You react, no way. That's one of the most common reactions in English. Now, here's another one. Seriously? Again, a reaction. A simple reaction, but extremely common. Now here's a phrase that appears everywhere. Let's see. Imagine somebody asks, what should we do tomorrow? You respond, let's see. Now let's talk about another everyday phrase. It depends. Native speakers love this phrase because many questions don't have one answer.
I use that all the time.
Most native speakers do. Because life is uncertain. Plans change. Situations change. And we'll see fits perfectly. The reason these phrases matter isn't because they're advanced. They're not. The reason they matter is because they're frequent. You hear them every day.
I think that's what many people want. They don't necessarily want bigger vocabulary. They want more natural vocabulary.
Exactly. And that's why today's topic matters, because fluency isn't always about learning new words. Sometimes it's about learning the right words. Now here's something interesting. Most English learners think native speakers have some secret vocabulary list, some magical collection of advanced words that makes them sound fluent. If you listen carefully to native speakers for a few days, you'll notice something surprising. They repeat the same phrases over and over again, the same expressions, the same reactions, the same conversation tools.
That's actually true. When I listen to podcasts, I hear the same phrases constantly.
Exactly. And once you start noticing them, you realize fluency isn't about knowing thousands of unusual words. It's about mastering the phrases people actually use. Let's continue with another one. I've got you, or got you.
That's a good one.
Very common. Imagine somebody explains something. You finally understand. You say, got you, or got it. Native speakers use these constantly. Now here's another phrase. That works. Imagine somebody says, let's meet at 3. You reply, that works, meaning that's okay with me. Now here's another one. Native speakers love, I'm down.
That's a very casual one.
Exactly. Imagine somebody says, want to grab pizza later? You respond, I'm down, meaning I'm interested. I want to do that. Now here's another phrase. Good call.
I hear that a lot.
Because people use it whenever someone makes a smart decision. Imagine your friend leaves early to avoid traffic. You say, good call. Now, let's talk about something that appears in almost every conversation. The phrase, kind of or kinda. Imagine somebody asks, are you tired? You say, kind of, meaning a little, somewhat, not completely. Now here's another common phrase, pretty much.
That's everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere. Imagine somebody asks, so you're finished? You respond, pretty much, meaning almost, basically. Yes, but not completely. Now here's one you'll hear all the time. Go for it. Imagine somebody asks, do you mind if I open the window? You respond, go for it. Now let's talk about another phrase. No kidding.
That's a good reaction phrase.
Exactly. Imagine somebody tells you, the traffic took 2 hours. You respond, no kidding. Now here's a phrase you'll hear constantly. Hang on. Imagine somebody asks you a question. You need a second. You say, hang on. Another phrase native speakers use constantly is, come on.
That phrase has so many meanings.
Exactly. It can express disbelief, encouragement, frustration, excitement. Imagine somebody says, I ate an entire pizza by myself. You reply, come on. Or maybe you're encouraging someone, come on, you can do it. Now here's another one. Not really. A phrase native speakers use all the time. Question, did you enjoy it? Answer, not really. Now let's talk about a phrase that's incredibly useful. That's on me.
I like that one.
Me too. Imagine you make a mistake. You say, that's on me, meaning it's my responsibility. It's my fault. Now here's another phrase. My bad.
That's a classic.
Absolutely. Imagine you accidentally forget something. You say, my bad, short, casual, friendly. Now let's imagine another situation. Somebody asks, do you want to come with us? You respond, why not? Another great phrase. Simple, positive, natural. Now here's one that appears everywhere. I hear you.
That's an important phrase.
Very important. Because it doesn't necessarily mean I agree. It means I understand what you're saying. Imagine somebody tells you about a difficult week. You say, I hear you. That's empathy. Now let's talk about another phrase. Tell me about it.
Native speakers love that one.
They do. Imagine somebody says, this week has been exhausting. You reply, tell me about it. Meaning, I completely understand. Now here's another expression you'll hear constantly. You're telling me. Very similar. Again, it shows agreement, understanding, connection. Now let's talk about one of the most important conversation phrases. Anyway.
That one is everywhere.
Everywhere. People use it to move conversations forward, change topics, return to previous topics, end stories. It's one of the most useful transition words in English. Now here's another phrase. Long story short. Imagine you're telling a story. You don't want to explain every detail. You say, long story short. Very common. Now here's another expression. At least. Native speakers use this all the time. Imagine something disappointing happens. You might say, well, at least we tried. Notice a pattern. Most of these phrases are short, very short. That's because spoken English values speed, comfort, efficiency. Now let's imagine a real conversation using several of today's phrases. Friend, want to grab coffee later? You, I'm down. Friend, maybe around 4. You, that works. Friend, actually, I might be a little late. You, no worries. Friend, thanks. You, of course. Now, here's another example. Friend, I forgot to send that email. You, my bad. Friend, it happens. You, at least I remembered before the deadline. Now, before we finish today's episode, I want everyone listening to remember something. Don't try to learn all these phrases at once. Choose 5. Use them this week. Then choose 5 more.
Honestly, I think people underestimate how powerful these small phrases are.
I completely agree. Because they're the glue of conversation. They connect ideas. They express reactions. They create flow. And without them, English can sound stiff. But once you start using them, everything changes. Your conversations become smoother, more natural, more relaxed. And that's exactly what we're aiming for. Ryan, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Helen. I think this is one of the most practical episodes we've done.
I think so too. And thank you to everyone listening. Remember, fluency isn't just about vocabulary. It's about the phrases people actually use, the little expressions that appear every day. Master those, and you'll sound more natural than you ever thought possible. I'll see you in the next episode of Talk Helen. Take care, everyone.